Good morning, everybody. It is Dory. I am back. Before I start my little spiel and before I forget, every single video that I put up, I don't know, but YouTube always chooses my thumbnail with me with my mouth open. If somebody could tell me at what time I will get my thumbnail on, or I don't even know. I don't even know. Maybe I should just sit and smile the whole time. I don't know. Okay, so anyways, I am here with an update. I totally missed out on the update on Monday. Monday was my week 91 update from vertical sleeve gastrectomy. And so today is Friday. I finally have gotten around to remembering to tape. So here I am. So let me go into my little spiel. My name is Dory. I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery on September 12th, 2016 in Hartford, Connecticut with Dr. Darren Tischler. My highest weight was 333.5. My day of surgery weight was 300.5, and today I am 177.8. So that is a gain. That is a big gain. I'm not sure why. I definitely am having problems with going to the bathroom. I'm also experiencing some pain. The other day I experienced really big cramping. I really think it's my gallbladder. I had been doing the ketogenic diet now. Again, I'm doing it, not as much as I had in the past, because I am still trying to get in a lot of protein. So I am concentrating on the protein. But I have found that my gallbladder, from what I've been researching online as where my gallbladder is located, that's where the cramping was. So I stopped eating the high fat a couple of days ago to see if that would help, and the pain did go away. So I'm kind of going to test those waters. For the next couple of days though, I am going to be fasting. I'm doing a water fast. I'm doing it for several reasons. Not just to focus on my weight. I actually was inspired by, I won't use her real name because I don't want to draw attention to her channel from someone who may not be in the community already, because she is private about her surgery. And so she knows who she is. And so I watched her videos yesterday, and she has been doing a fast earlier this month, and she did it for 5 days. She had researched doing a fast with a purpose on Facebook, and Dr. Daniel Pompey, I believe is his name. I looked him up today. I was watching some videos about doing the fast. It's definitely for health reasons. It's just really good for your body to fast. It's very religious. I am a Christian disciple. I have been going to the same church for over 20 years. I love everything about the Bible, everything about fasting, about spirituality. I live my life very different than the rest of the world does, who maybe does not have a deep relationship with Jesus. I was baptized 20 years ago as an adult for the forgiveness of my sins, and so therefore I try to live that way. I don't want to bore anybody who is listening to this wanting to know an update from me about fasting and my surgery, so I won't continue with the whole religious convictions that I have. But in any event, you'll see I am different. I don't swear, and I don't drink in excess and things of that nature. But whatever, that's not the purpose of this video. So I just wanted to let you guys know I am going to try to do the same fast that she had done. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do 5 days. I'm going to set my goal right now for 2. The last time I ate was last night about 8 o'clock before I had went to bed. I stayed mostly on plan yesterday from what I've been normally doing and eating. So the scale being up, my lowest I've gotten down to was 171.7. I'm not quite sure, like I said, why the scale went up. Like, I don't feel like I'm out of control eating. I feel like it probably has to do with not being able to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go today and pick up some Miralax. I've been out of Miralax for a while. I did have Colace and I was taking that. And then a couple of times this past week, I went and got a Dunkin' Donuts caramel swirl iced coffee, which is something I would have previous to having surgery. It's not the best. It's got very high carbs. But that is one thing that helps me go to the bathroom. And so probably once every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll get one if I'm having issues. If I'm not having issues, I won't go get it. But if I'm having issues going to the bathroom, I'll get that. It just for some reason helps. So the purpose of the fast that I'm doing is more spiritual than I would say as far as losing weight. I am hoping to kind of reset my body to getting used to eating less. I feel like I need to just kind of get back into the intermittent fasting and kind of do that longer than I have. I think that would help a lot. So when the scale drops some pounds, that's not the whole purpose, although that's kind of like a bonus. And I definitely know that it will probably go down really low, but then I'm definitely probably going to have some regain, just getting back to eating normally. I'm not sure, like I said, how long I'm going to do it. I'm going to try for 5 days, but right now I'm just set on doing 2. Some of the things I'm going to be praying for while I'm fasting is there's several things that have been going on in my personal life that definitely need prayers. So I would hope if anybody is praying out there that you would include us in your prayers. The first thing that I could think of is our truck. So I know in previous videos I've told you guys we have a Ford Expedition. It's a 2004. It's not anything great. It's an Eddie Bauer edition, but I love my truck. And the reason the truck is so important is A, we cannot afford anything else. We have it. We don't have a car payment. We don't want a car payment. And 2, my family fits in it. We are a family of 6. We have 4 children, ages 10, 8, 7, and 4. 4. She just turned 4 this month. And so the only other car that we have is a Mazda 3, and that only fits 5. It's a 5-passenger, and so we can never go anywhere as a family, and so the Expedition fits all of us. And if we need to travel down to New York City to visit my in-laws or my husband's family, we take our Expedition. Over the course of the last maybe 6 months or so, our Expedition has had a lot of issues, and we have used really all of the money that we have to fix this truck. We have had issues with the brakes. We've had issues with the wheels. We've had issues with the emergency brake. We've had issues with the battery, with the starter. We've had issues with the calipers. You name it, we have had issues. The fuel sensor, the fuel pump. We were recommended to go to a mechanic that some people from my church use, and he came highly recommended. And so we had been using our AAA membership, which this will just let you know how many times we've had to have the car towed. Is I used up all my tows that we get just taking this truck to and from this guy that came recommended. The last time he fixed our truck a couple weeks ago, we went to pick it up, and it's very, very sad. I feel very angry. I feel very just sad that he took advantage of us. And so we brought it to him, in a couple of weeks, picked it up on a Sunday, and he fixed our fuel pump. Our truck wasn't starting. And he fixed our fuel pump, and I paid for it, which was borrowed money. I borrowed $400 from a close friend of ours, and they gave me a ride to go pick up our truck, and I was very excited that it was done, and then maybe as a family we would be able to go places, because we can't really go places together. And when we're going to church on Wednesdays or on Sundays, we have to call for a ride for one of us to be able to get to church. And so it's just been really a thorn in my side, and just really has been an issue for us to be able to do anything together. Now that the summer is here, today is the last day of school for 3 of my kids. My 4-year-old starts preschool in September. We are going to need a vehicle. So I went and picked up the truck. I paid his wife the $400. I got in the truck. It started. I was very excited. I put it in reverse and went to go turn the steering wheel, and the steering would not turn. If you guys remember in the olden days when, like in the 80s when I was driving, late 80s, if you had an older vehicle and it did not have power steering fluid in it, the wheel would be really hard to turn. Well, that's how I could describe my truck. And prior to bringing the truck there, it was towed. Everything else was fine. We had put a lot of money into it. He had just had the vehicle. He fixed a bunch of things. And so it was really disheartening. So when I went in the house and told his wife that it would not move, she had him come home and look at it. And so he looked at it, looked under the hood. He made a comment that he should have taken it out for a test drive yesterday, but didn't even think about doing that, which was kind of odd to me. He got in the vehicle. He took it for about a 15-minute drive, came back, told me that the steering wheel was kind of locked and that he had to pull over 3 times to spray something into it. And then he had said to me that it probably just needs to be driven because it had sat for so long, it seized up. Which, okay, so he doesn't know this about me, but when I was a teenager, I used to work on cars with my dad and her dad, my friend and her dad. I rebuilt engines with them. I, redid bodies of Mustangs, like 64.5 Mustang convertibles and things of that nature. And so I know a lot about cars. I would go to car shows with them when I was like 15, 16 years old. And it was just something that we used to do. It was just fun. We did it. And so I learned about vehicles and learned kind of a lot more than maybe the average woman would know. And so this is definitely baloney, that a car after sitting is going to seize up with the steering wheel like this. That's not even true. That just sounds ridiculous. It really does. It sounds like somebody who doesn't know what they're doing would tell me that. And so I took it home. I drove it. The steering wheel was still very hard to drive. It was not great, but listen, I just took the benefit of the doubt and did it. Got home. That was on a Sunday evening. Monday, my husband and I and our 4-year-old went to get our farm share. We have a CSA farm share at a really nice farm near us. And we got back, and it was not a long way. It was maybe a 25-minute drive back and forth. I got into my driveway, and I shut the car off and opened the doors, and it smelled really bad, like something was burning. And then there was a bunch of smoke coming out of the wheel wells of both sides. And so my husband texted this guy who is supposed to be a Christian. He was highly recommended from people from our church that we go to, that he is great and trustworthy. And he wasn't answering my husband's phone calls or his texts. And it's been about 3 weeks, and still to this day, he's never gotten a response back, even though my husband was desperate, telling him that there was smoke coming out. So we parked the vehicle. It just seemed like it was. Sorry, I had to stop it to go bring my 4-year-old to the bathroom. We called and everything, and he did not answer, and he still hasn't. So we brought it to my cousin who used to do work on our car a long time ago. He's great. He's always done amazing work. He always knows how to do it, but he doesn't have a lift. And so some of the work that had to be done, he needed a lift. And that's why we chose to go to this other guy. So my cousin instructed us to get some brake hoses and to get front brake pads, which we had just actually replaced not too long ago, but because of it burning up for some reason under there, we went ahead and got them. So he replaced that, and then when I got it back, the check engine light was on and the air conditioning didn't work. And so I brought it back to my cousin the next day. Mind you, we have not had this car that has driven at all. So my cousin figured out that when my husband had a minor accident a few months back, part of the grill of the truck got pushed in and the air conditioning unit got a hole in it. Now, after purchasing a air conditioning condenser and my cousin putting it in, it was $250. So after speaking to my cousin yesterday, it seems as though the amount of damage that he found was probably caused by the tow truck that dropped the truck off at this guy's house about a month ago. There was just too much damage inside for it to be just done by the minor accident my husband had, because he only rear-ended somebody going like 1 mile an hour. Like, it wasn't, there was no damage on her vehicle. There was just a little bit of damage on the front grille of our truck. So I'm thinking that something happened when the tow truck dropped the truck off. It was a flatbed, and I think as it was coming off the flatbed that the front probably hit in a certain spot. But when my cousin went to go put Freon in it before he even knew that the condenser needed to be replaced, the Freon just bubbled up and spilled all over him. And so he had to clear out the garage and not go in there for a little while because it was so, like, such a little explosion type thing that happened. And then he also found a dead bird inside, which he had to pull out with pliers. I don't know. The whole thing just is crazy. I really feel like somebody has put us, I forgot what you call it, like a hex or something on my truck. Like, at this point, it's so bad. Everything has been replaced, and it's just so bad that something's going on. There's something going on. There is a bad spirit or something inside my truck. But anyways, so I picked up the truck for my cousin yesterday. I went and ran down I grabbed some Kentucky Fried Chicken for my family. And when I got home, yeah, the check engine light's back on. So I let my cousin know. He doesn't know what to do anymore. We've replaced so many parts and so many things, and I just don't even know. And I don't even have any money to even think about anything else that could be wrong with it. And so that is one of the main reasons I'm fasting. I just need to pray and to call on God to really help with this vehicle. We do not have money or resources to purchase another vehicle. I've tried to sell the vehicle. I've tried to sell the Mazda. No one really has, wanted any interest in either one. So anyhow, so that is one of the main things. I just really have to pray, and if you guys can pray for my truck, please. It seems a minute detail, but when you have children who have to go places and your husband has to get to work and these things, it's huge to have a vehicle that will support all of us going. Like, we have a birthday party tomorrow. One of us has to stay behind for us to go to this birthday party, or take 2 separate cars, and economically it's just not really the greatest thing. So in any event, that's one thing. And the other things that I'm fasting for, as you guys know from my previous videos, my husband has enlisted in the military. He has enlisted in the Massachusetts Air National Guard. It has been great so far. He goes to drills once a month, and he goes 2 weeks a year, which he hasn't gone yet because he hasn't completed boot camp. So originally we had said that he would be available after September 1st, which our older son is getting married on September 1st of this year. But after talking to him and getting some other advice, we just decided that he needs to go as soon as possible and not wait till after the wedding. He just definitely, we can't put our life on hold anymore. We need to have the income when he goes, and we need to be able to just move forward with schooling and things like that, and none of which he doesn't get paid for until after he does boot camp and does his tech school and, you know, all the things that he's going to do in the military. None of that can be done until he does his tech school. His boot camp. And so we, you know, let them know on base that he is ready whenever. So he does not have a ship date yet. So I'm praying for that. That's what I'm praying for, is that God will make it at a time that is perfect for our family. He's going to graduate approximately 7.5 weeks or so after he leaves for boot camp. And so I need to be prepared to go down to San Antonio, Texas to see his graduation from Lackland Air Force Base. Spend some time with him. I am going to be there Wednesday through Sunday or Monday. He has Thursday morning. I need to be there bright and early to get a spot on base for the Airman's Run, which takes place. And my cat's coming up here. Which takes place on Thursday. They have a coin ceremony. They have graduation on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I'd like to go off base with him, and that's all contingent on behavior of the squad he's in and things of that nature. And if they pass, you know, PT and all the other things that go into it, we would be able to go off base and maybe go shopping or go out to eat or whatever it may be. So I just need that to be at a time where it is most convenient for our family, preferably before the kids start school. But if they start school, like, I need the prayers for God to work out who's going to watch the kids while I'm gone. My in-laws are coming as well. I don't know if they're going to come to Massachusetts and fly out here with me, or if they're going to fly separate from New York City, or if I drive to New York City and fly out with them. I'm not really sure how it's going to work. But right after basic, my husband goes to tech school for an additional 3 months. Tech school, he has weekends off, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to ever afford to be able to go out there. So I'm just planning now for the emotional side of it. I'm planning now to do things with us as a family and kind of live in the moment, since I don't really know when he'll ship out. They can tell him today he's shipping out on Tuesday or on Monday, but I'm not really sure how that would all work. I'm planning things with the kids, and he's spending extra time with the kids as he's also trying to train physically, because it's very demanding physically at boot camp. And so I've put in my cart, I haven't ordered it yet, but I've put a couple of recordable books so he can sit and record his voice while the kids you know, so while he's gone, I can play the books back to the kids when they go to sleep, and they can hear his voice and things of that nature. I'm preparing to not be able to talk to him as much as we do. Him and I are extremely close. He's my best friend. We do everything together. We talk about everything. We just talk and talk. We're big talkers. We share everything with one another, so it's going to be very hard for me not to be able to talk to him. He can get letters sent back and forth. I'm going to start writing him every single day when he is gone, so that way he'll get at least one letter every day. In the beginning, I don't think that they can get letters maybe week 1 and 2, but he'll have a stock of letters. I think I'm going to number them. Excuse me. I'm getting lots of advice, and I've gotten to join a bunch of groups on Facebook from people who are in the Air Force as well as the Air Force National Guard. So I've started going with my husband and the kids, and a couple from church who's here. He's in the Air Force, and their two kids on Monday nights at the local base here. They have the USO puts on a dinner, and so at 4:30 every Monday night they have a really nice dinner. They tell you ahead of time what the menu is going to be, who sponsored it, and things of that nature. And so that's been good. We went this past Monday, and that was really fun. The kids had a great time, and it just really helps them to kind of get acclimated to seeing military personnel, to be on the base. It's been really great. We go to this base that I'm talking to, which is right up the street from us, and then the base that my husband will be at is Barnes Air Force Base, which is about 25 minutes from here. And so we've been on that base a couple of times, but it gives the kids kind of a respect for the military, as well as just being comfortable. And so I'm going to continue going to the dinners and everything when he is at basic or deployed or whatever, wherever he is. I'm going to still continue to keep that up with the kids every Monday. And it's been really good because we both have our military IDs already, so I've been able to get a discount like on auto parts for that said truck I was just talking about. I get 10% off parts, and so that's been great, and I can get onto either base and there's no problem. So that's been good, and so that's what I'm praying for today, is his whole military career and where God wants him, and just to keep him safe and to keep our family intact and things of that nature. For his safety while he's at Lockland. I know there's going to be so many different things that he's going to be expected to do, and they all have jobs, and they get privileges when they earn them, and if one person in their squad doesn't do well, they all suffer. And so I'm just praying for that. I'm praying for that to be able to be well. I'm also praying for our finances. I'm praying that we are able to continue to pay our bills on time, and preparing for a month or two where he may not get paid when he's at basic. And so his civilian job would stop paying, and all the rest of this stuff. So I'm praying for that. So if you guys can keep me in your thoughts and your prayers, my family, my vehicles, things of that nature, the military, all those things that I've shared, that would be so amazing, and I would be so thankful. And I'll talk to you guys later.